Rock Hard Riffs, the rock and roll guitar channel. Hey there guys, this is Rock Hard Riffs, the rock and roll guitar channel for the self-taught. In today's video we have another entry for our Would I Buy It Again playlist. And speaking of playlists, if you happen to be new to our channel, please take a peek in there, and if you like what you see, please subscribe. We'd really appreciate that. And speaking of subscribers, we have had quite an influx of subscribers these past few months. We truly do appreciate it. And don't worry, it won't get to my head, even though I have had a strange desire for Grey Poupon lately. I can't figure it out. Okay guys, let's get on with the video. Our American-made Telecaster and our Mexican-made Jimi Hendrix Stratocaster. Both of these are fantastic guitars. I got them both at two different guitar centers. I got this one in Tempe, Arizona, this one in Scottsdale, Arizona. Now when I first started playing electric guitar, this was in the late 70s, the first guitar I had was a Memphis copy of a Stratocaster, and it was a complete pile of junk. I did not like the guitar, it played like crap, and it just wasn't well made at all. The neck was loose in the pocket. That was just embarrassing. And that was one of the reasons why at that time I did not like Fender guitars at all. Copies, Fender, whatever, it didn't matter. I had heard from other people that even the Fender guitars, they would put shims in the neck pocket so it wouldn't move around. What kind of workmanship is that? That's just crap in my opinion. So I was definitely not a fan of Fender throughout the 80s. I just did not like them. But I did buy a couple tellies, a couple Mexican tellies in the 90s, and they were great. So I thought, all right, I'll get another one. And I got this one. I got a great deal on it. So, you know, would I buy these again is the question. And the answer, just to tell you right out the gate, is absolutely yes. These are just fantastic guitars. Don't let anybody tell you that Mexican tellies, or at least the current ones, are not any good because they're not made in America. Now I understand the thought behind it, but I have kind of a suspicion that the people in Mexico that make the Mexican Fenders, they compete with their American counterparts, saying, oh yeah, you think you're American, you think you're so good, we'll make better guitars than you guys. And I swear, this guitar just might be better than an American Strat. This thing is just one of my favorite guitars. Well, they're all my favorite guitars, you know how that is, but man, this is a great guitar. If you ever happen to run into one of these Jimi Hendrix Stratocasters in a store or a pawn shop or whatever it might be, grab it. This is just an amazing guitar. And my Tele, of course, it's just a killer guitar. Telecasters are such a classic guitar. Now, there are things that I do not like about either one of those, and I'll tell you what that is. The positioning of the pickup switch and the volume and tone knobs could not be in worse places. I constantly hit them with my hands. Now the front volume knob on the Stratocaster, I had a gasket put underneath the knob, so even if you hit it, it won't budge. You have to really turn it to get the thing to move. That's great, but it still doesn't do a darn thing about the pickup selector switch. That's still a pain in my rear to this day. And the same thing with the Tele. I don't know what Fender was thinking by putting those things right in the way. And I don't understand people that regularly play these things, how they do it without constantly hitting those things. Maybe you could tell us. Let us all know in the comments. Please do if you would. Now somebody once asked me, well, what about that maple fretboard? Do you like the maple fretboard? And really, truly, when it comes right down to it, I don't notice any difference. What I do notice a difference about is the shape of the necks and the radius of the fretboard. Right? These fretboards are a little bit rounder, not quite as flat as a Gibson. Gibsons also, the neck shape tends to be, or at least Epiphones, and some Gibsons tend to be like a D type shape. These are C-shaped guitars, and they're necks, and they are extremely comfortable. They work together really well. The radius and the C shape work perfectly. Super, super comfortable. So as far as that goes, killer. So guys, what are your thoughts on Fender guitars, Fender equipment? I had always been a big fan of Fender amplifiers, especially the Fender Twin. Boy, I'd love to have a Fender Twin even to this day. They just sound so warm and killer. They just sound great. And I did a demo of a Fender Mustang amp, by the way, And that was a killer little amp. So again, you know, I love Fender amps. Back in the day, late 70s, pretty much kind of throughout the 80s, Fender, you couldn't give me one. I wouldn't take it. Now, you can't take them from my cold dead hands. That's how much I love these things. So guys, if that answers your question, would I buy them again? Absolutely. Now, if you're new to this topic of ours, again, please take a look in our playlists. You'll see a playlist called Would I Buy It Again? We've got all kinds of stuff in there. Check that out. I'm hoping that it's really informative. I hope you find good information in there for you guys if you're considering buying different things, right? And it's not that I like everything. You'll find in that playlist there are some things I may not buy again or I would do differently. So it's not like I'm kissing up to companies or anything like it. No, thank you. I'll skip the Grey Poupon. Okay, guys, any questions? Please let us know in the comments. If you have any advice for anybody, please leave a comment. We'd really appreciate it. And if you like this video, please give it a like. Again, if you're new to our channel, please subscribe. Alright guys, thanks so much. We'll see you next video.